Brenham, Texas, the county seat of Washington County, is known largely as the home of Bluebell Ice Cream, bluebonnet-covered landscapes, and Blinn College. Located about halfway between Houston and Austin and 45 minutes from Bryan College Station, Brenham is an ideal location for commuters. This has meant population increases over the years, along with increased enrollment in Brenham's public schools. Brenham ISD, which was the first public school district in Texas, currently reports an enrollment of over 4,700 students, covering an area of 439 square miles. One building constructed to accommodate the increased population of school-aged children in Brenham is the one at 1200 Carlee Drive, noted on the next map in green. Constructed in 1963 and 64, this building, which is located in the southeast area of Brenham, became Brenham ISD's third high school facility and served as such for almost 35 years. It currently houses the Brenham Junior High School. In September of 1960, the Board of Trustees of Brenham ISD invited members of the Texas Education Agency, or TEA, to visit Brenham and its schools in order to survey and help set up long-range plans for future expansion in the district. Based on that visit, the group from TEA recommended that the school district construct a new high school building and use the current high school as a junior high. That building now serves as Brenham's Community Education Center. March of 1963 saw the beginning of construction on the Carlee Drive building after various proposed designs and funding considerations. Two separate bond elections were voted on by the community, one in August of 1961 for $800,000, then again in January of 1963 for a supplemental $300,000 when the district realized the initial budget would not suffice. Thus, the total cost of the building ended up at $1.1 million. In 1962, Brenham ISD purchased 39.5 acres of land, plus an additional 10.5 acres located east of that land that was being used by the Brenham Airport. Brenham ISD bought these additional 10.5 acres from the city of Brenham for only $600. Several pieces of land were also purchased to construct, extend, and connect streets around the building. In total, the original land purchased for Brenham High School cost $32,340. As Brenham ISD's Board of Trustees planned for and discussed the new high school building, they discovered a possibility for government funding if the structure could be used as a fallout shelter. This was a result of Cold War fears of an atomic bomb being dropped. Architects Wiley Vale and Edward Hildebrandt contacted the Civil Defense Office in Washington, who reported the possibility of $2.50 per square foot that would be provided to offset additional costs of making the building a completely qualified fallout shelter. It was based on this information that the architects drew up designs for the school building. The building was designed as a two-story structure with one floor completely below ground, windowless, fully air-conditioned, with a large gymnasium and an auditorium seating over 1,000. It wasn't until the plans were in their very late stages that the school board found out Congress had failed to appropriate funding for this project. Instead of scrapping plans and starting over, the school board decided to go ahead with the present fallout shelter design, but to make a few modifications in order to reduce costs. As Harold Eichenhorst, assistant superintendent at the time, said, the school board said they just couldn't pay for all that concrete. Apparently, this led to some later problems with the structure, such as a leaking roof, which required several repairs and renovations. In keeping with the fallout shelter design, the building structure was largely made of concrete, with reinforcing steel in the foundation columns and foundation walls. 38 precast concrete beams helped form the roof, each weighing 26 tons. Furniture and room provisions were state-of-the-art for the time, including a language lab, science labs, a mechanical drawing room, homemaking room and equipment, and athletic facilities. March of 1964, a year after construction had begun, the high school students transitioned to the new building. The building was formally dedicated on Easter Sunday, March 29, 1964, when the community was invited to an open house to tour the new school facility. The year this school building opened was the first year Brenham began to integrate its black and white students. The district became fully integrated in 1967. While news reports from that time indicated hostility and violent reactions to desegregating schools in places like Alabama and North Carolina, Brenham schools saw virtually no external hostility or controversy. Bill McAdams, who became the high school principal in 1965, said that he didn't remember any problems related to integration during his tenure. Gary Sonnenberg, a student at the high school from 1967 to 1971, also does not remember any overt problems during that integration period. As a white athlete, Mr. Sonnenberg commented that he just remembers playing alongside his black teammates, noting that Brenham's all-white schools had decent athletic teams and the all-black schools similarly had decent athletic teams, but, as Mr. Sonnenberg said, when those two mediocre teams combined, we were unstoppable. Major additions and renovations occurred over the years, with a 10-room classroom wing added in 1970, a standalone band hall and standalone gymnasium in 1975, and a snack bar area in 1984. One major renovation took place in 1997 when the building transitioned from being Brenham's high school to being its junior high. This renovation included removing asbestos and mold, updating heating and cooling systems, installing an elevator, putting in new floors and doors, and updating the building's technology. According to John Forsyth, the last high school principal at the Carlee Drive building, it took a while to install computers in most classrooms because many rooms still had chalkboards, and they were not allowed to have computers in the same rooms with the chalkboards. This building, not being wired for technology, has allowed for some quirky technological issues, including one teacher's projector clicker changing the slides for another teacher's classroom, as well as insufficient bandwidth kicking off all other teachers and students when one classroom is doing an internet-related project. Lana Hathaway experienced the Carlee Drive building as both a high school student and as a 7th grade language arts teacher when the school became a junior high. Mrs. Hathaway remembers being overwhelmed by the size of the building as a high school freshman, but notes that, from a teacher perspective, the biggest benefit of this building is its space. She does, however, list quite a few drawbacks to the building, including its multiple entrances and exits, which create security problems on campus. Originally built to alleviate Brenham ISD's overcrowding problems, the current Brenham Junior High School building on Carlee Drive witnessed the end of the Cold War, desegregation, continued growth in Brenham schools, and immense technological innovation, among other things. As the district plans to continue using this building for instructional purposes, time will only tell what further events and changes this building will witness.